Thank you for watching Automating ILET Administration, presented by CrummeyService.com, America's leading ILET software company. What is CrummeyService software? It's a workflow automation solution designed to improve ILET compliance. ILET details are entered into the system using a simple setup tool. CrummeyService will auto-generate and deliver time-sensitive notices including gift funding reminders, Crummy notice letters, premium reminders, policy review notices. Note, all of these notices are stored for future reference. CrummeyService captures gift details and premium payments. The system automatically generates alerts for critical situations, gifting funding shortfalls, beneficiary withdrawals, and unrecorded premium payments. In order to get started with our system, you must create a profile and register. Very simply, type in your name, last name, email address, and authorize our terms of use, and you're done. You're now registered on our system. Getting started with CrummeyService is very simple. This video will quickly demonstrate how easy and intuitive it is to set up and activate a new trust using our system. I'm now in the CrummeyService dashboard. Once setting up your username, you'll enter into this site where you can add a trust. I have two trusts already set up for your review, the Smith Family Trust and the John Smith Insurance Trust. Both of these trusts are in progress of having been set up, and they both are showing that they're missing information. We can begin by looking at these two trusts and seeing the type of information that's needed. Along the bottom is a progress bar. I type in the trust information, data trust, my tax ID number, and the type of trust. Once I say this information is correct, it will automatically advance me to the Grantor tab, where I enter in the grantor's information. I can add additional information aside from the name and email by clicking here. This will open up a window that will allow me to enter additional details. If there's an additional grantor, I simply click yes, and it allows me to add another grantor. Right now this trust is showing as having one grantor. If I say there is no additional grantor, I'm immediately advanced to the trustee tab, where I complete the information about the trustee and their contact information the same way as I did on the grantor tab. If there's an additional trustee, I say yes, and that prompts me to fill out information on that additional trustee. In this case, I'll say no. It immediately will take me to the beneficiary tab, where I add my beneficiary the same way I added the other three roles in the system. I've set up two distinct beneficiaries, Mary Smith and Susan Smith. Susan is a minor. The system immediately prompted me to add a guardian. I can add a new guardian, or I can pick one from a previously loaded person in the pick list. If there's no additional beneficiary, I click no, and it takes me to the policy tab. In this case, I had previously added a John Hancock policy for $2.5 million, the policy number, the premium amount, the premium mode, the next premium due date. If there's an additional policy, it'll prompt me to load the same information and park the previously loaded information on the side. In this case, I loaded a nationwide policy and a John Hancock policy, collecting very similar. From the Advisor tab, I can add additional advisors. I can add a fiduciary, an account administrator, who have very specific administrative rights compared with an advisor who may only be a view-only and recipient of notices. If there's no additional advisors, I click no, and now I'm on the Recipient tab. The Recipient tab is a very important setup in that it will indicate who are the primary and additional recipients for Crummy notices, for funding reminders, for additional funding reminders, as well as premiums. Once I'm set up here and I say this information is correct, I will be taken to review the information. I can make any changes from here changes to a grantor's contact information, beneficiaries, policies if I forgot a policy. Once I confirm the information is correct, it will immediately launch me to a completed state, and I've now activated my trust. As you recall, we started out with 2 trusts that were in progress. I've now completed that trust, and there's no additional information requested for me to complete the setup for that trust. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to find any additional trusts. The Smith Family Trust. This is the trust I just completed everything. It's indicating that there are no actions required at this time. I can click on each of the roles and drill back down into their contact information and make any additions, corrections to that information. I can see any gifts that were made. Prior to setting up this trust for this demonstration, I had made a gift that was due. I received an email indicating that that trust was requiring an additional gift of $11,800. I made a gift of $12,000, which I'll show you how we do that. And it's showing me that I've made payments to insurance policies of $11,800, so I have a net available of $200. So let me show you what I did. In this particular trust, I recorded a gift on 6/1 of $12,000, and I indicated the check memo, and now that gift is there in the history. If I wanted to make an additional gift, which I can do right now, and it doesn't obviously have to do with policies or not, and now it's suggesting to me that I send a Crummey notice for this gift. It just created the Crummey notice. The Crummey notice is going to, in this case, the trustee, and it is showing that the recipients of the notice are Mary and Linda as beneficiaries, or guardians, if you will. It's also going to the copy to the grantor, and I can preview each notice. I can create a PDF, I can print it, I can save it, I can see the different methods of delivery. I could send to all, I can deselect and send to one, or I can send to all. So I will, I can send them all right now by pushing send to all recipients. And that's it. Notices successfully sent to 4 recipients. And I can close that tab. Now it's showing that I made that $1,000 gift, and I had sent the Crummey notice. I can return back to the overview. Now there's $13,000 worth of gifts. I have a balance of $1,200. Previously I had a balance of only $200. Total gifts to date, $13,000. Total payments made on policies, $11,800. And I can preview all of my notices that I've sent or undelivered in a notice queue. Recording payments, very similar. I have 2 policies in this trust. I previously paid this policy. The next semi-annual premium is of $8,900 is due on 12/29 on this policy. On the nationwide policy, it will tell me that I have a premium coming due as well. And the next annual premium is $2,900. We paid these policies earlier for this demonstration. We can do additional things. For example, we can just go back and review by reviewing the trust information. We can pull reports. We can look at detailed gift reports. We could look at pulling all the trust information. We can select or deselect all the policy details. This is a great way to create a client-ready report. I can download it in different file formats, create a PDF, print it, and it's pulling in all of the relevant information for this trust. I have these two beneficiaries, I have a guardian. Is there a 5x5 provision? What's the allocation amongst those beneficiaries? What were the dates of the gifts? What were the methods, the totals, and any premium payments? If I want to set up a review date, I could do so by simply adding the review date and how or when I'd like that review done, a specific date, an anniversary, or no review at all. So in the trust overview, I can find a trust, I can record a gift, I can record a payment, I could look at the whole trust, all the details of that trust, generate different reports, and if I'm managing a group of trusts, I can do many of those same features. This area right here shows me where there are actionable items needed for a particular group of trusts. If you're loading large amounts of information into our system, you can show lists of notices. First off, if you can import larger files, Excel files, you can review a list of imported data errors where there's missing information. You can upload files and apply batch uploads of premium changes. You can review lists of notices for many trusts and expire or add or change user information for your administrators. This concludes this overview, and we encourage you to take a 30-day free trial on our system, and we are happy to give you any additional training for you and your advisors to help you have a terrific experience. Thank you for watching.